they work so hard to get trade schools to colleges. Atlanta Tech is actually a technical college.
Yeah.
You know, if you would say Atlanta Area Tech in any meeting, I don't care if the mayor or the president of the United States said it, she would stand up and correct you and say, this is a technical college, not a trade school. We are, I mean, just with people like you and your admissions to, you know, how you're feeling about it and your education level and your parents' background of how they look at school, it changed the traditional trade school student has changed.
No worries.
Gotcha. Yeah, but that's amazing, man, that you would look at, you know, younger people and say, I would like to post this content because the things that you are doing can help them make that decision and not look at it as a trade, you know, a trade school, but more so technical education.
Mm-hmm.
You know, technical education, and pretty much just it's for you know, it's the same thing, but it's for a different outcome. It goes about it differently, and it's interesting because when we were just a trade school, the interesting part about it, we stayed there just as longer. We really stayed there longer.
Sometimes I could think back and I could remember your story. So I feel like that's something that stood out the most to me last semester as well.
I appreciate that. A lot of people, matter of fact, somebody said that today. It was like, man, you got a lot of interesting stories, you know? And I was like, well, I can cut back on them. He was like, there was an older guy. He was like, no, don't cut back on them. He was like, they're interesting and they're connected to what we're talking about.
Yes.
And he said the same thing. He said, even though you say you want to get with a commercial company, you know, commercial company after you finish school or, you know, right when you're getting ready to finish. But what is your HVAC lifetime dream? I mean, do you have a after you work for how old are you?
I'm 22.
22. Oh, man, time is on your side.
Yeah.
You're going to finish this at 22 and the job, let's just say you work somewhere for 5 years. You'll be only 28 years old. What's the bigger picture? Because I'm gonna tell you, speaking from a man who started at 17, if you have that, you'll have that drive in you, and then once you start doing it, everything becomes second nature. And unless you just get in there and just say, "I'm comfortable," this is all very hard for a young person to do that. So have you ever thought about what would you do after about 5 or 6 years working with the commercial company? Is it well, I want to just become the best commercial technician and maybe become a supervisor? What do you think? What do you think the long game is?
I feel like I don't have a solid answer for that yet. Just because, like I said before, like the sky's the limit with this.
Yes, it is.
And it's so many different routes to take. Like, do I want to hop into sales? Like, I feel like the sky's the limit with that.
Yeah, and because you're a very learned person and you also deal with content and stuff like that, man. And even if it's just for the company that you work for, always think about education also. Always think about, hey, I could teach heating and air conditioning. And always think, and I'm just giving you some ideas, you know, things that you can think about. Always think about getting your license.
Yeah.
Always think about those things that are progressively up the ladder.
Right.
Say, okay, I've done this, you know, do it and then try to figure out what your next steps are. But the good thing about it is, just like you said, and you're 100% correct, when that time gets there, it'll reveal itself.
I feel like community is a big thing. When you have so many people around you working constantly, you're going to end up eventually working constantly as well. So I do feel like that was a huge thing that persuaded me at least to have some type of characteristic on some like my own work ethic, you know? And in terms of like, if I feel like I'm in the right field, like if I ever doubted myself, I have my doubts here and there, but for me, I kind of believe in like practice. Like you see your practice, you see how the obstacles you've overcame in the past.
Right.
There was times we've had some assignments in your class, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this one. But it's like you keep moving, you put your best foot forward, and you see like, okay, you could overcome it. So it's like now I'm at a point like I've already set them building blocks up. Now if I come across another obstacle, I'm like, I already came past all these ones. Like this is just another block. So that's like my outlook on it.